Breaking news! Things are looking up for the Miami Dolphins, and some good news just arrived. We're counting down the hours until we face the Jets on Sunday, and head coach Mike McDaniel is finalizing the final details. I have some important updates to pass along to you today, but before I go any further, make sure you've hit that like button, but only do so if you're a true Miami Dolphins fan and believe there's better to come. If possible, write it like this: Go Dolphins! We're going to beat the Jets! The Miami Dolphins have received some encouraging updates ahead of their crucial Week 18 matchup against the New York Jets. With the season on the line, Dolphins fans can take comfort in knowing that key players are on the road to recovery, while the Jets seem to be limping toward the finish line in what has been a disastrous season for them. Let's dive into the details that could make all the difference as Miami fights for a playoff spot. Starting with wide receiver Jaylen Waddle, who has been moving well in Dolphins practice this week. Waddle, who suffered a knee injury in Week 15 against the Houston Texans and has missed the past 2 games, appears ready to return to the field on Sunday. His presence could not come at a better time. Pairing Waddle with Tyreek gives Miami one of the fastest and most dynamic wide receiver duos in the league, a nightmare for any opposing secondary to deal with. Reports from prominent writers covering the Dolphins suggest that Waddle's recovery is on track, and if he is ready to play against the Jets, it would significantly boost Miami's offensive potential, regardless of who is under center. Speaking of quarterbacks, the ongoing saga surrounding Tua Tagovailoa's availability continues. The latest update from Dolphins offensive coordinator Frank Smith indicates that Tua has been aggressive in his rehab from a hip injury. Smith praised Tua's commitment to the recovery process, but was cautious not to give fans false hope about a potential return for Week 18. Head coach Mike McDaniel has already made it clear that the team is preparing Tyler Huntley to start at quarterback this Sunday. However, Smith's comments suggest that Tua could be ready for the playoffs if the Dolphins make it. It's an intriguing development because if Miami beats the Jets and gets the help they need from the Kansas City Chiefs to knock off the Denver Broncos, they would sneak into the playoffs as the 7th seed. In that scenario, a first-round trip to Buffalo would be on the horizon, and having Tua back could be a game-changer. For now, though, it's Tyler Huntley's show. Huntley played well in his last outing against the Cleveland Browns, and the coaching staff appears confident in his ability to lead the team for another week. The Dolphins are sitting at 8-8, and a win over the Jets would secure a 3rd consecutive winning season under Mike McDaniel. While Huntley may not be the long-term answer at quarterback, his steady play and ability to manage the offense give Miami a fighting chance in this must-win game. Meanwhile, things aren't looking great on the other side of the ball. The New York Jets are dealing with their own set of issues. Reports from Jets practice indicate that several key players were absent, including 2 of their best defensive stars, cornerback Sauce Gardner and defensive lineman Quinnen Williams. Both are game-changers when healthy, but their status for Sunday is now in question. Additionally, tight end Tyler Conklin and 2 offensive linemen, Morgan Moses and Elijah Vera Tucker, also missed practice. While this doesn't guarantee they'll be out on game day, it certainly raises doubts about their availability. If the Jets are without these players, Miami's path to victory becomes much clearer. The Jets' season has been a complete mess. Sitting at 4-12, they failed to live up to expectations, and the team appears to be unraveling. There are even rumors that the Jets could part ways with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams in the offseason, signaling a potential rebuild. The situation in New York is so bad that even their star cornerback, Sauce Gardner, admitted that some players might have mentally checked out. After a humiliating 40-0 loss to the Buffalo Bills last week, Gardner expressed frustration, stating that the team had more talent than last year but wasn't playing as a cohesive unit. That kind of dysfunction is exactly what the Dolphins need to exploit this weekend. Now, let's talk about Miami's offensive line, a unit that has been a concern all season. The Dolphins are dealing with multiple injuries along the line, and it looks like they'll be without left tackle Terron Armstead once again. Armstead missed practice for the 2nd straight day, and the chances of him suiting up on Sunday are slim. This means Patrick Paul is likely to start at left tackle, a significant downgrade from Armstead. Additionally, with Kendall Lamb on injured reserve, there's a good chance Jackson Carman will start at right tackle. This combination is far from ideal. Carman, in particular, struggled mightily in his previous appearance at right tackle. In Week 15 against the Texans, he allowed a sack, 3 pressures, and was flagged twice. His performance was poor enough to raise questions about whether the Dolphins should consider other options for the position. Offensive coordinator Frank Smith was asked about the possibility of moving either Isaiah Wynn or Liam Eichenberg to right tackle. Both players have some experience at the position, and given Carman's struggles, it might be a smarter move to start one of them instead. Wynn, who recently returned from the physically unable to perform (PUP) list, seems like the most logical choice. He has over 300 career snaps at right tackle from his time with the New England Patriots. While his numbers at the position aren't stellar, they're still better than what Carmen has shown. Eichenberg has also played right tackle in the past, though not as extensively as Wynn. The coaching staff will have to weigh their options carefully because the Jets still have a solid pass rushing group led by players like Hasten Reddick and Will McDonald. Miami can't afford to have a weak link on the offensive line in a game with so much on the line. One final note on the Dolphins: Pro Bowl rosters were announced earlier this week, and Miami was one of 4 teams to have 0 players selected. While some fans may feel disrespected by the snub, it's important to remember that the Pro Bowl has lost much of its credibility over the years. It's more of a popularity contest than a true measure of a player's performance. Players like Zach Sealer and Christian Gonzalez probably deserved recognition, but the lack of Pro Bowl selections shouldn't distract from the team's focus on the playoffs. Looking ahead, the Dolphins have a golden opportunity to secure a playoff spot. The Jets are a team in disarray, and Miami's path to victory is clear. If the Dolphins can take care of business on Sunday and get some help from the Chiefs, they'll punch their ticket to the postseason. It's been a roller coaster season for Dolphins fans, but the finish line is in sight. What do you think, Dolphins fans? Are you confident that Miami can get the win this Sunday and make the playoffs? And who would you rather see start at right tackle, Jackson Carman, Isaiah Wynn, or Liam Eichenberg? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'll be back on Sunday with live coverage of the game, so make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on. Fans up! If the Dolphins are serious about protecting Huntley and giving him the best chance to succeed, they'll need to make smart decisions regarding the offensive line. Huntley has shown flashes of promise, but he won't have much time to work if the Jets' pass rush can exploit weaknesses up front. One more topic that's been causing a stir among Dolphins fans is the team's complete absence from this year's Pro Bowl roster. Miami was one of only 4 teams to have 0 players selected, a fact that has left many scratching their heads. Players like Zach Sealer, who has been a consistent force on the defensive line, deserved recognition, as did rookie cornerback Christian Gonzalez. The snubs are frustrating for fans, but it's important to remember that the Pro Bowl has become more about name recognition than actual performance. In reality, most players and coaches care far more about playoff appearances than Pro Bowl selections. As Dolphins fans know, Miami hasn't won a playoff game since 2000, a drought that this team is desperate to end. If the Dolphins can take care of business against the Jets this weekend and get a little help from other results, they'll have their shot at breaking that curse. The stakes couldn't be higher for Miami this Sunday. A win would not only secure a winning record for the season, but also keep their playoff hopes alive. It's a chance for the Dolphins to prove that they belong in the postseason conversation, despite the adversity they've faced throughout the year. Now, we want to hear from you. What's your confidence level heading into this game against the Jets? Do you believe Tyler Huntley can lead this team to victory? And who would you like to see start at right tackle, Jackson Carman, Isaiah Wynn, or Liam Eichenberg? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to join us on Sunday for our live coverage of the game. Let's see if the Dolphins can punch their ticket to the postseason.